Hello everyone, and welcome to Think Biochemistry. This channel is dedicated to making biochemistry simple, interesting, and easy to understand for students of pharmacy, medicine, life sciences, biotechnology, nursing, and other health science courses. Our goal is to explain complex biochemical concepts using clear diagrams, real-life examples, animations, and exam-oriented explanations, so that you not only score well in your examinations, but also build a strong conceptual foundation. If you're passionate about understanding life at the molecular level, you've come to the right place. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest educational videos. Now, let's begin today's topic. Topics covered in this video. This video provides a clear introduction to carbohydrates, including their basic definition, importance, and examples. It explains the classification of carbohydrates based on the number of sugar units and their structure. The video then focuses on monosaccharides, the simplest carbohydrates, with examples such as glucose, fructose, and galactose. It also explains oligosaccharides, which contain a small number of monosaccharide units, with examples such as sucrose, lactose, and raffinose. Finally, polysaccharides are discussed, including starch, glycogen, cellulose, and chitin. Overall, the video provides a simple and systematic understanding of carbohydrate types, structures, examples, and biological functions. Introduction to carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are one of the major classes of biological molecules and are essential for the normal functioning of living organisms. They are organic compounds composed mainly of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. In many simple carbohydrates, hydrogen and oxygen occur approximately in a 2-to-1 ratio, giving the general formula CnH2ON. Carbohydrates are broadly classified into 3 major groups: monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are the simplest carbohydrates and cannot be broken down into smaller sugars. Examples include glucose, fructose, and galactose. Disaccharides consist of 2 monosaccharide units joined together. Common examples are sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Polysaccharides are long chains of monosaccharides and include glycogen, starch, and cellulose. The most important function of carbohydrates is to provide energy. Glucose is a major fuel used by cells to produce energy through metabolic pathways. Carbohydrates can also be stored as glycogen in animals and starch in plants. Some carbohydrates have structural functions, such as cellulose in plant cell walls. Carbohydrate-containing molecules also participate in cell recognition, communication, and signaling. Thus, carbohydrates are essential for energy production, energy storage, structural support, and cellular communication. Car as an example to understand carbohydrates. A car can be used as a simple analogy to understand the importance of carbohydrates in our body. Just as a car needs fuel to produce energy and move, our body needs carbohydrates as an important source of energy. Glucose, a simple carbohydrate, is commonly used by cells to produce energy in the form of ATP. A car also contains different components that work together to maintain its structure and function. Similarly, carbohydrates have important structural and functional roles in living organisms. For example, cellulose provides structural support in plants, while carbohydrates such as glycoproteins and glycolipids participate in cell recognition and communication. A car can store energy in its fuel tank for later use. In the same way, the body stores carbohydrates as glycogen, mainly in the liver and muscles, for future energy requirements. Plants store carbohydrates primarily as starch. Therefore, the car analogy helps us understand that carbohydrates are not only an energy source. They also contribute to energy storage, structural support, cell recognition, and other biological functions. Just as a car cannot function without adequate fuel and essential components, our body requires carbohydrates for proper energy metabolism and normal physiological functioning. Classification of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are organic compounds mainly composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. They are one of the major biomolecules found in living organisms and serve important functions such as providing energy, storing energy, and forming structural components. Based mainly on the number of sugar units and their ability to undergo hydrolysis, carbohydrates are classified into three major groups: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are the simplest carbohydrates and cannot be hydrolyzed into smaller carbohydrate molecules. They contain a single sugar unit. Based on the number of carbon atoms, they can be classified as trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses, and heptoses. Examples include glyceraldehyde, erythrose, ribose, deoxyribose, glucose, fructose, and galactose. Glucose is particularly important because it is a major energy source for cells. 2. Oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides contain a small number of monosaccharide units, generally between 2 and 10, joined together by glycosidic bonds. Disaccharides contain 2 sugar units and are the most common type. Examples include sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Sucrose is made of glucose and fructose. Lactose consists of galactose and glucose, and maltose consists of 2 glucose molecules. 3. Polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are complex carbohydrates made up of many monosaccharide units. They generally contain more than 10 sugar units. Based on their composition, they may be homopolysaccharides, containing one type of monosaccharide, or heteropolysaccharides, containing 2 or more types. Important examples include starch, glycogen, cellulose, and hyaluronic acid. Starch is an important storage carbohydrate in plants, while glycogen is the main storage carbohydrate in animals. Cellulose provides structural support in plants. Therefore, carbohydrate classification helps us understand their structure, properties, and biological functions. From simple glucose molecules to complex polysaccharides, carbohydrates play essential roles in energy metabolism, energy storage, cellular structure, and biological processes. Explanation of monosaccharides with example. Monosaccharides are the simplest form of carbohydrates and are commonly known as simple sugars. They cannot be hydrolyzed into smaller carbohydrate units and serve as the basic building blocks of disaccharides and polysaccharides. Most monosaccharides contain multiple hydroxyl OH groups and one carbonyl group, which may be an aldehyde or ketone. They generally follow the molecular formula CH2O(N), where N is usually between 3 and 7. Monosaccharides are classified according to their carbonyl group. Aldoses contain an aldehyde group, while ketoses contain a ketone group. They can also be classified according to the number of carbon atoms, such as triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose, and heptose. Important examples include glucose, fructose, and galactose. Glucose is an aldohexose and is one of the most important sources of energy for cells. It is also a building block of starch, glycogen, and cellulose. Fructose is a ketohexose found in fruits, honey, and sucrose, and is sweeter than glucose. Galactose is an aldohexose and a component of lactose. Monosaccharides are essential in energy production, metabolism, cellular recognition, and biosynthesis. They can exist in linear and cyclic forms in solution and play important roles in living organisms. Oligosaccharides. Explanation with example. Oligosaccharides are carbohydrates made up of 2 to 10 monosaccharide units joined together by glycosidic bonds. They are intermediate in size between monosaccharides and polysaccharides. Depending on the number of sugar units, they may be called disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharides, and so on. Oligosaccharides can have linear or branch structures and are generally soluble in water. Many have a sweet taste. The monosaccharide units are connected through specific glycosidic bonds, which determine their structure and properties. Important examples include sucrose, lactose, and raffinose. Sucrose is a disaccharide composed of glucose and fructose and is commonly found in table sugar, sugarcane, sugar beet, and fruits. Lactose consists of glucose and galactose and is known as milk sugar because it occurs naturally in milk and dairy products. Raffinose is a trisaccharide composed of galactose, glucose, and fructose, and it is found in legumes and some vegetables. Oligosaccharides have several important biological functions. They can contribute to energy supply, participate in cell recognition and signaling, and act as prebiotics that support beneficial gut bacteria. They are also present in glycoproteins and glycolipids on cell surfaces, where they contribute to cellular communication and recognition. Polysaccharides. Explanation with examples. Polysaccharides are complex carbohydrates composed of long chains of 10 or more monosaccharide units joined together by glycosidic bonds. They are high molecular weight carbohydrates, and when hydrolyzed, can yield many monosaccharides. Depending on their structure, polysaccharides may be linear or branched, and are generally insoluble or only slightly soluble in water. Polysaccharides have two major biological roles: energy storage and structural support. Starch is the main storage polysaccharide in plants and is made of glucose units. It contains two components, mostly linear amylose and branched amylopectin. Glycogen is the major storage polysaccharide in animals and is highly branched, allowing glucose to be rapidly released when energy is required. Cellulose is a structural polysaccharide found mainly in plant cell walls. It consists of glucose units connected by beta 1 to 4 glycosidic bonds, forming strong fibers. Chitin is another structural polysaccharide composed of N-acetylglucosamine units and is found in the exoskeletons of arthropods and the cell walls of fungi. Overall, polysaccharides are essential for energy storage, structural strength, protection, cell shape, and mechanical support. They are therefore important components of plants, animals, and microorganisms.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Your support means a lot and helps the channel grow.